word is announcements. Okay? So does everybody know what an announcement is? What's an announcement? Someone that talks over people. Okay? What's another one? What's an announcement?
It's like if it's when you say it in front of a lot of people.
It's important you say it in front of a lot of people. Okay, yeah, well, I guess I have a couple announcements here, okay. So in this church, there are different ways that we do announcements. One of which, Pastor Mo, where are you?
I'm hiding.
So we remember how Pastor Mo does his announcements. He starts off with...
Announcements.
Okay. So that was announcing important things to a large group of people. And sometimes we get announcements. Okay, so for some parents who get these little red invitations, somebody had a baby, so that's another way of doing an announcement, right? Okay. So announcements here in this church, we do announcements. Very often it's a time for sharing, joys and concerns. You've heard me say that, right? So how do you feel when we share joys and concerns? Okay. So if somebody is having a baby, how do you feel? Good? Okay, we got good. Is someone getting married? Someone out there getting married? Are you excited? Or how about this? Neil's not here, but if Neil got into UC Berkeley, how would Mom feel? That would be an announcement. However, not all announcements are happy ones. Sometimes we announce people are sick, right? Or dead. Or die. Thank you very much. And we very often are, how do you feel when someone dies? Sad. Are you sad? Now, announcements are not about dead people and sad people too. Like yesterday, something happened really big down in Chile. Does anybody know?
Earthquake.
What?
A big earthquake, a big earthquake.
Okay.
And then people...
And in this earthquake, people were hurt, right? And
the freeway broke down.
And some people died. So these are announcements that we make in church, okay?
The freeway broke down.
And the freeway broke down. We saw that too. Okay. Great. Now in the Bible, there are many times that God speaks and makes announcements, okay? He makes announcements in different ways. He speaks to people directly, but he also makes announcements through angels, and he makes announcements through dreams, okay? And sometimes when he makes these announcements, we don't know what to expect. Okay, so let me give you some examples. Okay, how many of you know Jonah? Remember Jonah? Jonah and the big fish and the big whale. Okay, so God comes to Jonah and says, I want you to go to the people of Nineveh and I want you to tell them that they are doing bad things and I want them to turn their ways. So what did Jonah do? Anybody know? What did Jonah do? He hid. He went the other way. Right? Of course, unfortunately or fortunately, God found him. So how was Samuel? We talked about Samuel a couple of weeks ago. Samuel is sleeping in his bed. And who's calling? Who's making the announcement? God. He goes, Samuel. So how many times has he announced to Samuel that he's there? 3 times. And finally, he wasn't too sure who was calling him. Okay, so how many of you know Sarah and Abraham? Sarah? Okay, Sarah was the wife of Abraham. Now Sarah, not Abraham. Sarah was an older woman. She was much older. She couldn't have kids, or at least she didn't think so. So God announced to Abraham that Sarah was going to have a baby. What did Sarah do?
Laugh.
She laughed. Chuckle. That was the joke was on her. Okay, so, and even Moses, when Moses got the announcement from God. Now, how did God speak to Moses? Does anybody remember? Burning bush. Right. So you see this bush burning. It's burning. How do you feel?
Happy.
You're happy at the burning bush? Okay. Actually, Moses was very careful and he trembled. So there are different ways that God announces things. Now, of course, these are individuals. Do you remember what happened out in the fields outside of Bethlehem? There were a bunch of shepherds, and who came to see them?
God.
Through angels. And of course, when they saw all these angels, they were afraid. But after they left, the angels left, they got all excited, and they went to Bethlehem. So today's lesson, or at least the scripture today, is about a different type of announcement too. This was an announcement that the angel Gabriel came to Mary. Now Mary was whom?
The mother of Jesus.
The mother of Jesus. So Mary didn't know this, but she was going to be the mother of God's child, Jesus. So how do you think she felt? Scared. I'd be scared if someone was going to tell me that I was going to have a kid. But then no less that it would be the Son of God. But you know what? The angel said, don't be afraid, because with God all things are possible. And with God, and what was Mary's response? Mary said, okay, I'll do it. But here's something to remember too. In this church, you know, we're going to get a new minister one of these days. Pastor Moat will not be our minister forever, sadly. But when God calls our new minister, okay, how are we going to feel? Now, it could be someone we already know, or maybe it's someone brand new. Now, today we're celebrating women, right? So this new minister could be a woman or a man. But how will we feel when that announcement is made? Are we going to embrace whom God sends us? Just think about it. How would you feel when God makes his announcement?